Alright people, it's time for that. It's time to finally actually build that fusion reactor. But first let's get the last components because we already got the machine casing and the control. But still gonna require some other stuff, like, don't ask me why, but it's not glass, it is reinforced glass. Let's make 2 input fluid hatches and 2 output fluid hatches. And to finish it, we need some cables to get some power going in, so we're required to make some low energy hatch. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that is it. Now let's go down there. You'll see you have some bricks here. That's because here's the platform where we're gonna build our fusion reactor. You must keep in mind that the fusion reactor is very big and very large. It uses our area about 50 by 50, so it's almost an entire chunk to build it. So if you want to avoid problems with multi-blocks being between chunks, pick a chunky and build it. I have you also lay down the torches where everything should be. It's a very simple pattern. We place 1, 2, and 3 like this. Then we place a level below it, 2 on each side. This, and then a little one more down, and it's done one side. Just need to do everything with the other sides as well. And that's the base of it. Now you just need to place the component that I forgot to bring, that is the coils, of course. Without the coils, it will gonna not work. 32 superconducting coils. Just place the coils above the ones that we just placed. And it's done. And to finish up here, all we need to do is to actually surround the coils with the casing. So it's just a matter of cover everything up, every little side of it. And it is done. The multi-block is almost formed. All the basic parts of it has been set down. Now I'll need to place the more complicated ones and the more specific ones, like the controller, the output, the input, and the energy source. Well, the controller can go either here, 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 or here. Since we need to climb from this place here, I might place the controller on this side here. The controller goes here. And see, it is incomplete structure. I'm gonna fix it very soon. Now I need to have 2 input hatches. Since we have our production there, I can either have it here or here. I think here is the closest one, but it's also the place where you're gonna climb up, so I think you're gonna leave it here. One input hatch, two input hatch. Now where the output gonna come? Can come from any side. So let us place it in, I don't know. Let's put it into the same side, but I need to check here. I believe it needs to be right here. Let's just check everything up. Yeah, the output need to be either here or here. Well, since they have the input here, let's have the output right here. You go here, and you go here. And I fell down. Ta-da! Now the energy. Since our energy is here, the most logical choice would be the energy to be right into these corners here. Because you need to feed it with a good amount of power. And that is the best place I can think of. So you go here, 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 and finally here. Just branch it to the correct place, the way that is facing down. And everything now should be completed. Alright. We have set up everything correctly. Now we can move to the that step that is actually making it start to work. First things first, need to give it power, because some recipes require some amount of power. Let us check the quest book before that. Let's go to the quest books. We have here the fusion engine. As we completed before, completed. Let's get our material bag. And here we have the plasma energy and the new materials that are not in nature. We need to make it a European. And for that we need to freeze two elements. Here it don't say the recipe, but looking at the recipe for the molten European, it's the fusion reactor with the hydrogen and molten neodymium gives us European. Is that right? Okay, after I made some new calculations, I discovered that I was wrong. Because as you see, it is explained in the book as well. Each energy heads counts about 10 million at the K1. What this means that every recipe that has to be made into the fusion reactor, like the European that we need, have started. And as you see here, it is 150 million EU. Since each head can only give 10 million to this start, I need about 15 energy heads to start this process. And after it started, it's gonna consume this amount of voltage constantly to make a European using some nitrogen and some neodymium for 3 seconds. This is kind of okay to get it. It is ludicrous voltage. But we cannot make the battery for that yet, because the platonic energy orb require European to be made. So I cannot make it yet. So it is simple to make it with just using a transformer to turn insane voltage into ludicrous voltage. And since it's only needed about less than 1 amperage of ludicrous, I can kind of keep it. But just as I said, I don't have enough energy to actually start it. But I'll first place it down here so you can actually see what I mean, that each one is 10 million, and then I will hit on. Well, I have run all the cable around. It might seem like a waste to run cables for such a very long distance, but remember, we only have a loss of 2 EU per meter, so for Ludicro's voltage, it is like nothing. I have set up inverted Ludicro's transformer, so we're gonna get the 8 amperage of the Insane and turn it into one of the Ludicro's. And here we have our Insane battery buffer. That is empty, of course. But I have here what we're gonna place on it. But before I start, I want to show you how much power is on the controller right now. As you see, it has 0. When I place the electronic energy crystals, these crystals isn't, no, energy orb here, and it finally start to charge up, you're gonna see that number changing a bit. I think it might have already started charging up. Yes, it is charging up. As you see, we have already 3 million EU here. And we are about to get to the 40 million EU. And as you can see, it will complete. Hey? Well, it's okay. As you see, we have 40 million EU. But that's not enough to actually start it, is it? We need more power. So let's make the test. Let's get it here. Let's remove this casing. Put the energy hatch. And now suddenly we have another 10 million to get. So every energy hatch, I'm gonna add plus 10 million EU to the start of it. And since the American, as I show you, requires about European, I always confound with the next one. Require 150 million EU. I need to have about 15 energy hatches for it. So I need to replace almost every side to get the amount of EU for it to actually be able to start. So let me do it. Now I have done it. I have placed every single energy hatch on every single side. So now it has the chance to actually get there. But before that, you need to let this charge up. You need to get more orbs to place inside here, and let them all get completely filled up before you try to actually do some fusion reaction. And of course, getting some molten neodymium and molten hydrogen to actually start doing it. So that is another waiting game for me. Okay, 4 electronic energy orb fulls, and the controller is also full, so we can actually start making it. The biggest secret to fusion reactor, either to create new materials or make plasma for power that we're gonna do later, is to always do a huge amount of it, because as I showed you before, we have this huge consumption of energy to start. Look at this 150 millions. After that, it's gonna require about 1.5 million and 3 seconds to convert hydrogen gas and a little of neodymium into molten europium. And we're going to require at least 9 of this to make just a single ingot of europium. So the longer it runs, the better it's gonna be, because you do not need to expend so much energy on just heating up. With this much power, we can make this recipe almost 100 times. So if you use this especially well with the plasma to keep it running the maximum as we can, it should be done very rather quickly. Okay. Since we're gonna make a new material, I place more input hatches, as you want to leave that to plasma later on. So let's pick this one here. Let's just grab a pump, place it on top, and set it. I believe it is already in import. So place this one here, and no, it's not on import. I need to screw it. Now you're gonna inject a lot of the hydrogen gas inside of this hatch, because the input hatch of cylindricals is, I believe, 56 buckets of it. And now into the other side, I have this molten neodymium. It don't look like much, but remember that we need to get almost 7 ingots to make just 1 cell of it. So here we have a lot of neodymium. I believe that is enough to run it the maximum of power it have for now. Now I believe all I need to do is to soft ram it and cross my finger that this is gonna run as I expected. And 3, 2, 1, go. Every light turns on, so let me check it. It is running and it is getting power at the same time, so I am giving it more energy than it is consuming. That is a very good sign. Now let's look at the informations here. We are getting something. We are getting it. Now let's check our little output hatch. We have some europium here. Yes. This one is empty, so this is the primal one. And you can see that we are losing very little of our neodymium and somewhat of the hydrogen, but our battery is draining. Not this one, but our main battery is draining. Draining very, very quickly. But that's not the price of it. That's the price of fusion. Now, when I finally have the europium, I can make more stuff. I can make a lot of stuff. I needed to make the NEPS controller, but it requires some expensive fuel generator. Anyway, let me wait for it. This is something that I wanted to show you long ago, but I was always postponing. When you have some kind of hatch and anything with some amount of fluid less than a cell, if you pick a fluid cell, universal fluid cell, and shift right click it, you're gonna get the amount of molten stuff it had inside without any trouble. So with this, I can already start working in the next project. That is to actually make one of those clusters. so it can store a huge amount of power into the corrective voltage. Require 4. Just need to solidify it now. And let us go. Sweet, sweet European. That's very sweet of you. Oh, 16. Fine, fine. Here we have our plasma energy. So let's make a plasma generator. That's why you need the outer plutonium 241 rods to make it. So let's go for our terminal and check it out. Just require a little glucose machine hole, and here we have one plasma generator Mark 1 that have the fuel efficiency of 50%. Well, it's better than nothing, I guess. Now we need the helium plasma. And just as we followed the steps before, we need the tritium and the deuterium into the fusion reactor to create the plasma, and the plasma is gonna be consumed by the generator to produce power. Each cell produces 32 kU power, but since the generator only has 50%, you only have 16 kU, and the system itself requires 13 kU to work, so you only get in 3000, but that is gonna for the beginning. As we improve our setups, it's gonna get better and better. Damn. Now that I have the europium, I can make that cluster, but for that I need a better assembly. So let's make a extend voltage assembler. And the insane hole, machine hole. And now that cluster. Okay, that's cheap. 8 of this and 4 of this. Yes, it is very cheap. I never knew the efficiency of the diesel engine goes up to the 300%. So that's how it produces this amount of eoprotic. Yeah, the fusion is still going on. Almost half of the new demon has been gone, but my power is about to run out. That's not good, not good, not good. Anyway, I made more 8 electronic energy orb, so I need just to get my europium. Go to my insane voltage assembler. Right here, place this, and should work. Here I have a beautiful Ludricus voltage battery buffer with 4 slots, but for now we only have a single Leptron cluster. Maybe later on I'm gonna have more of it. But for now we can go down there. The power is draining, so it's gonna end very soon. We can come over here. get this out. And place our glucose voltage battery buffer here. Arrange it the correct way and simply give it. But it has a where is it? Here. Have somewhat huge battery buffer to fill. Not gonna happen anytime soon. And filling this energy cluster 1 billion EU. That's gonna take a very long time. But it's not funny because all the power of my base is being diverted to here. But that's the price of the fusion. Still only half done. Not good, not good. But this is good. Just to be funny, the next quest that is to make the cluster is already completed, but I cannot claim because I did not complete the first one. We have to get some Naquada alloy, Naquada ingots, and then to the most effective way to get it power from plasma. Well, this is the end of it. We are getting to the end of our fusion. Our power is gonna run out, and I want to see what's gonna happen when it is run out. And it is. It's over. It just stopped. And we use about almost 10 cells of it. And we got almost the same about get back. That's very good, very good, very good, very good. Well then, this is gonna be for this episode. Get some European. Now, let me grab my cells so I can actually finish this. Some fluid cells. Let's go back there. Let's grab everything we can. No, it's from the output hatch, not the input. You dumbass. We go to the base. We toss everything into the output hatch. And we get a good amount of European. That's why you should make a good amount of it every time you use it. So you don't need to actually do it again. I would not get enough to make another ingot, so it's gonna just stay there. We can get some nuggets shape. I believe I have it. There we go, nugget shapes, and we can get everything out. So no losses. Go to the fusion to get a nice view of it. Okay, this is it for it. This is On God. Thank you for watching and see you next time.